I really can't thank you enough for your green hat and everything. Seriously, you've totally changed my life too. It's just been amazing, and you brought up such a good point. It all had to do with just taking action. Really cool stuff, man. Sometimes we need to sit down and talk about that more. I know we got together over the weekend and stuff, but yeah, I was really I was like almost in tears listening to you talk about that stuff. Just thinking back, it's really awesome, and I'm really thankful for you, man. Seriously. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah, definitely. All righty, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the screen, big screen here, and and then if everybody and Anthony, if you just help me out with the question box, if everybody can just hear me and see the screen, okay, see the big chain sign, and then just type in a one in the chat box, just let us know we're okay. And then as soon as we see some ones coming in there, I will go ahead and get started real quick. We're looking good. We got some ones going on. Okay, very good. Okay, so hey, look, just standard in here. I'm going to do a quick intro, just a little background about myself, and then we're going to turn it right over to everybody on the call. Okay, so anyways, my whole life and everything really started with change. It started change at really, quite frankly, an older age, at 41 years old. So when I was 41, that was me on the left-hand side there, and got the old double chin going on, and a lot of other things going on too. And that's me on the right. Actually, just about 3 weeks ago, I'm 50 years old now, and I had a lot of things going on back, about a year or so before I met Anthony on that end of it. I had a drinking problem, I had an eating problem, I had an employment problem, and I was actually living in the backseat of this car right here. This is a 1982 Mercedes, and what's kind of cool about them is that you can convert these old German cars to run off of vegetable oil. And I picked up vegetable oil for free at local restaurants, and so it was a win-win for me and the restaurants as well. And I used to sleep right there in the back seat. That's where I did. I was unemployed, and about 2 o'clock in the morning, I was outside of a Starbucks. I was capturing some free Wi-Fi with my laptop, and I came across a contest. It was called Transformation by Bill Phillips. Now, Bill Phillips, you may have heard of. He's the Body for Life guy. Did those before and after shots. That's really his signature. He's the one who started that. And first prize was $50,000, and I needed the $50,000, but I also needed some changes in my life. So right there at 2 o'clock in the morning, in my home here, my mobile home, I entered the contest, and 16 weeks later, I ended up winning the contest. And that was the turning point. I always say my life started my life before Bill Phillips and afterwards. And then just really good things happened after that. Bill Phillips ended up doing a best-selling international book about the transformation. My whole story is in chapter 13. I got a little tiny picture up there. And a lot of other good things happened too. I cleaned up my life, had a little bit of money in there, and I got my wife back and my kids. We never did get a divorce, but she did leave me, which rightfully she should have. And we ended up getting married a second time, but this time with our kids in Korea. So, and about that time, I was hanging around Bill Phillips and Joe Polish, and I was on stage with Paul Abdul touring the country, talking about transformation. And I was seeing around all these people that are making more money. I was like, wow, I've transformed my life from the inside out. I've given up a lot of demons. I can apply the same kind of principles financially, right? And so this is one of the first courses I ever bought. It's called Main Street Marketing Machines by Mike Keenings. It's all about how to take offline businesses online. And I really did really well at that. And so completely turned life around just very, very quickly. I just went into it full force. And I was speaking all around the country. In fact, we even flew internationally. We were down to Australia and stuff. And I was sharing about the transformation process, how I can change your life and stuff. And it's me and Paul Abdul. We toured in about 25 cities together. And it's me and Bill Phillips, where we just got done running a Make-for-Wish Foundation. We raised almost $250,000. And I got a lot of TV shows. Here's me on backstage. And then I finally, kind of full circle, I got to meet Mike Keenings, and he interviewed me in the Digital Cafe. And then I got a call one day from Dan Kennedy. How many people, just type in a 2 in the box if you know who Dan Kennedy is? Just type in a 2 if you do. Yeah, a lot of people do. Okay, see, at the time I had no idea who the heck he was. And I got a call from his office because he was doing a television series at the time called Makeshift Millionaires or something. This is around 2009. This is right after the big crash and stuff. And I had made quite a bit of money. And so he wanted to interview me, and I declined. And then I got a phone call a couple days later. Said, hey, you should probably, we get the feeling you don't know who he is. This is a chance of a lifetime. And it was. So the trade-off was I fly down there. He interviews me one day, and it's had 4 other people that he interviewed. And then for a trade-off, we got to spend all day long with him in a room, and we just mastermind our businesses. So it really helped turn things around. But he interviewed me because back in 2009, I had 2010, this is my personal income taxes. I made over $1.6 million. So it really turned my life around. So anyways, so let's turn this over and talk about what I did. I'm just literally going to pull the curtains back. I'm not going to, it's not one of these training webinars where there's huge pieces missing and gaps. I'm going to log into things and show you everything. So I'm going to share with you how I went literally from like a few $1,000s to really ending the year, literally making $3,000 to $4,000 per day. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So now's the time. If you got some notes out, you probably want to start taking them. So what I did is I really reinvented my business, and I wanted to move away from the kind of consulting business, and I no longer wanted to be kind of this online business consultant on here. And I was meeting clients kind of face-to-face. It was really touchy-touchy. They were very high maintenance. And I was starting to feel the pressure from like India and other countries of people doing the same work I was doing with offline marketing, but they were able to do it for far less than I was, and they were just as qualified, frankly. So I really wanted to build also a lifestyle business that I have today. I do work really hard, but my 3 kids and my wife and I, we travel all over the world full-time. That's just what we do. And if you follow me on Facebook, I post all kinds of pictures and stuff on there. But I really, in order to do that, I had to reinvent my business, and Dan Kennedy really helped shape that model. And I ultimately, what I'm going to share with you, I modeled with the guidance of Dan Kennedy. I wanted to model my business after Google AdWords. So kind of a tall order, but actually you'll see it's really quite simple. So really what I look at is what a business owners really want. They want to be number one at Google. They want to have a high converting website, Facebook, YouTube channel, Google Places. Yeah, they really want all those things. But ultimately, all those things are just a means to an end. What they really want, they just want live customers in their area calling them, whether they're a divorce attorney, whether they're a plumber, it doesn't matter. That's just, at the end of the day, that's what they want. If you could just hand them that, you're done. Instead of trying to go the long route and hand them give them SEO and the reputation management and all that stuff. Just give them live leads. It's done. So that's what I did. Completely revamped my business. And I want to share with you a little bit about other companies, particularly the one when I first started out. It's been 5-6 years now. This used to be known as Service Magic. It's Home Advisor. Maybe some of you have heard of it. It's in the lead gen business. It does a little different than I do. They do more email leads. I do live phone call leads, but they're really powerful companies. So I want to show you. This is also one that I also modeled after. And Dan Kennedy helped me kind of shape this. And this is back in 2012, this article that I got here, that they were doing about $205 million annual. So it is a huge industry. But I pulled up a more recent one. This is the most recent one I could find on them in 2015. They're all, they've gone from $205 million to $700 million avenue revenue. So this business is growing and growing. And this goes tandem in how my business has grown too. Because this snapshot here I just took literally like an hour before the phone call on here. This is my PayPal account on here, and this is for my business account. Now I have overhead and I have expenditures and stuff like that, obviously, as any business does, but by the end of the month or before the month ends, we always clear over $1 million. In fact, let me just just to be completely transparent here, because it's Anthony's group on here. Let me just see if it's still even logged in. Yeah. Okay. So this is. So anyway, I should say that results vary on here. I've been at this for a while, but if you keep working at it, this is definitely what can be achievable. I'll share with you some other people who have had some really good success with this later as well. Maybe something that's might be a little bit more relatable on here. So I basically broke my business down. I had two methods to drive traffic to my lead gen sites. Basically, they're lead gen sites. So I'm just in two niches right now. I'm not in like 40 or 50, but I'm in two niches. That's it, offline niches. And I create, me and my team, we just create our own sites. Like, for example, maybe create like a towing site or a plumbing site, and you put it in a whole bunch of cities, and you put a phone number on there, and you just sell the leads. It's a very simple on here. So how many people would like me to show you how I do this step? I just have two methods to drive it, and it's super easy to do. How many people just type in a 3 in the chat box if you want to see me do this step by step by step? I'm going to show you two methods. The first, I'm just going to pull the curtains back. Oh, we got lots of 3s. Okay, cool. All right, so here we go. Okay, so the first one I do, the first one is more of an SEO, and the second one is really cool. I'm going to leave the best for last, but this one on here, this is crazy, and this is what I build on here is what we call master domain lead gen sites, and they're totally crushing it. So let me explain what a master domain lead site is, because there is no course out there in the world on it. It's not a loophole. It's simply this. It's like having one domain, whatever, like a plumbing site. And I'm actually going to show you a site. This is a real site. I'm going to show you real rankings and results on here. And there's no loopholes here or anything. This is very, very stable white hat stuff. But this is like having one domain, like MrPlumber.com, and having different pages represent different cities, like Houston, Dallas are what on that. But what nobody realizes, and absolutely nobody is talking about, and we're not the only ones doing it. It's just myself and my team. We went out and we reverse engineered other sites, and we figured out, why are these other national chains ranking so well? And this is really powerful stuff. So what happens is that in the United States, for some people outside the United States, there are easily 40, 50 cities that you can put these lead gen sites in off of one main domain. But what happens is that once you get a little bit of Google trust on like around 5 to 7 cities on here, there's this tipping point. I'm going to show you proof on this. There's this tipping point where Google just says, hey, Mr. Plumber, or whatever your lead gen site is, we totally trust you at this point. And if you want to now open up in Los Angeles and put a site in Los Angeles or Seattle, Washington, you just got to put in like a one link or even no links sometimes, which I'm going to show you proof, and it just ranks. Okay, and then it really makes it easy to scale. So you get past that 5 or 7 cities, and then boom, now you can easily get to up to 20, 25 cities, even further than that, 35, 40 cities, and it's super easy to rank. And for somebody like myself who really doesn't like SEO that much, this is a total lifesaver. So let me actually show you proof, so that it isn't just a theory on here. And these are actual real sites on here. So this is Handyman Dallas. So if you were looking for a handyman, this would be a main keyword that you type in. Ranking number 1. And now let's take a look at the backlinks, because Dallas is a big city, let's be honest. And to rank number 1 for a keyword like this, you're going to get a ton of traffic. So let's take a look at the backlinks on here. So this is the backlinks for this site. This is a commercial account for Majestica. Basically, it's 2 backlinks, and the backlinks are not powerful at all. The only backlinks that are making this rank is just a yellow bot, which is a citation, and another citation. 2 citations. They don't have any trust flow, nothing to them. That's it. So let me just continue, because this is happening all over the country. So this is Los Angeles. You're thinking, wow, if I were to rank, number 1 for any keyword in Los Angeles, a service, I mean, you'd be crushing it, right? So number 1 there. Must take a lot of backlinks to do this, right? No, wrong. Not when you build these sites this way. So again, here's the Handyman Los Angeles. Just 3 dinky links to it. That's it. Again, just citations. So let me just show you a couple more examples, so you don't think this is a fluke or something. And these will be here tomorrow. These will be here in 5 years. They're stuck here. So this is Chattanooga on here. And again, number one, and if you go back here, in some of these kind of medium range cities, you just pop open the page. That's all you got to do. No backlinks whatsoever. And you just go across the whole United States, even into Canada and the UK with this as well. And also in down under. So it's really, really powerful stuff on here. So you might be thinking to yourself, oh, that's just a little dinky plumber site. But let me just toss something at you that might just change your reality on here. Just in the chat box. Just imagine for this site that's ranking at least 40 plus cities in the United States, how much do you think this site brings in revenue per year? Because I'm going to show you proof in a second. How much do you think it does? Like 5 million, 1 million, 20 million, 50 million? How much total revenue? And these sites are just selling leads. That's all they're doing. They're just selling phone calls. That's all they're doing. People come to those sites, the phone rings, it gets forwarded to a local plumber. It's just a simple business model on here. How many? No one's not even close. We've got some good guesses, but nobody's even close on here. And that's where you need to kind of wake up to this. This is back in 2009. It brings in about $75 million in total revenue per year. So just because it's a handyman site does not mean anything, and it's just about getting the site to rank. Just in the first 5-7 cities. After that, it just floats up, even in bigger cities like Dallas and Los Angeles. So all these other people out here that are struggling with SEO, this is not a loophole. I'm going to show you exactly what I do to get these to rank, and there's nothing complicated about it at all. Okay, let's mosey on here. So everyone says, what about the SEO? So I just did this. I told you in the beginning I was in 2 niches, and we're just starting to get in a 3rd niche after 5 years. Okay, so you don't need like 50,000 niches. You just go deep with one niche. That's all you need to do. And we're 5 years later, just starting our 3rd one on here. I'm going to show you these. This is a fresh site, so I've kind of covered up some things, but I'm going to show you this on here. We're just in 4 cities right now, and this is in the Phoenix area, and then we're ranking number 3 in the San Diego area. I'm going to show you the income for just these 4 sites in just a second that they bring in. And I believe that's Sacramento. This one's Sacramento. So on here, so I'm going to log into the back end of my software that actually runs this whole operation for me on autopilot. And who on here wants to see this revenue that we've done year to date, last 30 days on this on here? Just type in a 1 in the chat box and let me know. This is just 4. This is 1 domain ranking in 4 cities. That's it. This is not even a hard niche. This is not like an attorney niche or nothing like that. And we haven't even reached that tipping point. Okay, cool. So let me run over to that and take a look at that. So I've got that here, and this is my software system that I had built years ago, and it automates everything. This is kind of like my pay-per-call Google AdWords backend, and it just automates everything for me. It does all of it. So anyways, these are just these 4 sites on here, like Phoenix, Sacramento, LA, and San Diego. 1 domain. We're just starting to get the master domain built. We got about 2 or 3 more cities to rank in, and then it's going to hit that tipping point, and then boom, we're going to be able to just rank in like another 20, 30 more cities very, very easily, just with like citations. So year to date, okay, is brought in a substantial amount on here. And just in the last 30 days, the reason it says 0 today is that I'll explain a little bit more about that later, but we bill our clients every Monday. We have them top up their accounts. It's kind of like a prepaid. So we're never in the negative. They always have to prepay. They always have funds in their account. And so that's why that is there. So that's it. That's just one easy niche, 4 sites. And that's how exciting this kind of business is on here. So let me just mosey on here and get through this. Okay. Good stuff on here. What's nice about this system here, again, I want to automate my system. I want to automate my business. I have this lifestyle business on here. I do work very hard, but I like to travel, I like a little freedom. I don't want to have the big corporations out there that are making the 100 and 200 $700 million. I'm fine with where I am now, and it gives myself, my family, the freedoms that we need to do. So the CallZoo software system I had custom built for my business and my lifestyle here does everything automated on here. The invoicing, the payments, it's all 100% automated. These are the kind of invoices that it sends out. I just blocked out the private information there, but they get it as soon as they need to top up their accounts, like a prepaid phone. As soon as they need to top up their account with more money, and they will automatically get a text message with a link to pay this, and simultaneously they'll get one to their email. So there's absolutely no way that they can miss it. I don't have to chase them down, none of that kind of stuff. And if they stop paying for whatever reason, which we have a very slow attrition rate because we're giving the clients exactly what they need. Live leads, and they've just never seen anything like this before. They're used to getting calls from like SEO people and stuff saying, "Hey, we can promise you the world, but you got to wait 5 or 6 months for it to happen." No. We just boom, instantly, we're going to get you live leads. Here they are. And so it totally automates the system. And then the clients, like Google AdWords, they can manage everything on the back end. They're not going to call in customer support. We don't even have a phone number you can call. And just think about that for a minute. A business is doing, low double figures, low, $10 million plus a year. We don't have a customer. We have a customer support email, but we don't have a customer support live phone call. So just imagine that for a minute, where I used to run my business, constantly picking up the phone, having to manage these clients on here. But that's because I hold exactly what they want. And so they can go into the back-end system just like you can in AdWords, and they can see every single phone call that came in. We can see the time it came in, the length of the phone call, the phone number, and they can listen to it. It's recorded. And so everything's managed at that point. Very, very easy. Before I move on to the second method on here, there's probably some people out there that are into SEO, not. So you probably, what's a good backlink? How do we get those first 5 to 7 cities to rank? How did I get those 4 cities to rank that I just showed you there we're just getting started in our third niche. So what's considered a really good backlink? If you have the best backlink and it could be replicatable, where would you get it? Obviously not like SEO Nuke. I don't even know if that's around anymore. You don't go out and get a bunch of EDU or government backlinks. None of that kind of baloney. Yep. Okay, someone got it right. And that's it. It's private blog networks on here. But the problem is these things are really expensive to manage, especially when you want to scale up. This is a business we used to use, and even one quality domain on here was like $50 a piece. This gets expensive after a while. So what I did is, because I've got 3 full-time programmers, they've all been with me for the past 5 years, by the way. I've been to their weddings, everything. It's almost part of the family. And in addition to the pay-per-call software CallZoo that they designed and they develop and they work on every single day, they also developed a system that allows me to find and go out and for a company to find age domains that everyone else missed out. These aren't age domains that I got to bid or I got to pay someone else an extra fee. It just finds them, and I just pay whatever price a regular .com is. So if a .com is on sale on Namecheap for $199, that's what it costs me. It doesn't cost me $50, $80, $100, $200, and I don't have to sit around and bid and all this kind of junk with it. So it really helps scale and grow my business. These are some of the backlinks that we get every day. We get hundreds of these. I could open up a separate business just selling domains with the software. No one else has got it. That's not the business I'm in, though. Stay focused and on what you do. These are just more. I mean, anybody knows anything about backlinks, this is the quality that we get, and we take these and we just rebuild the website and we send a backlink to our sites, and this is why we're ranking so crazy and so fast. And then they also added the scraper link. It's a very similar technology to find some expired Web 2.0s, bloggers, Tumblr, and stuff. And a lot of these have really good backlink structure to them, but they don't cost anything to host or to buy or anything. So those are the only 2 backlinks we use, period. Nothing else. Okay. So is this safe? Does this kind of stuff work on here? Absolutely, because we only take a private blog network and we just usually do maybe 1 or maximum 5 outbound links, and that's it. And we make it look realistic and we don't do anything spammy with it on here. And these are some people that have also used some of our private blog networks for their very own. So here's some really high quality trust.coms on here, and we get them from all over the world as well. So here it is. This guy's fantastic. I just crossed out his name for privacy on this, and these are all very recent. He literally works just a couple hours per night. And then 4 hours on the weekend while having a full-time job. And his full-time job, by the way, makes $110,000 a year. And when he wrote this, he was at $80,000. And just recently, he actually quit his job. Winning Monday on here, this is another client. These are all recent things I just grabbed out off of Facebook on that. They're ranking number 1 on here, and the training that we do absolutely works. So if you've been out there, you've been all these complicated ways to rank sites, this is like the easiest thing to do. I've been doing SEO for a long time. No BS. Chris Winter's the Call Zoo course, the best sales course I've ever bought. And you spend thousands of dollars on here. You'll succeed, and so on and so forth. While the click-through rate is crazy on here. So this client, this particular student on here, he was in a very competitive niche, which is Chicago divorce lawyer on here, and in a very short period of time on here is ranking number 1 organically, and then it bumped up his maps as well. And that's a huge niche. I mean, those divorce attorneys, for AdWords, they easily pay somewhere between $80, $90, up to $110 just for a click. So really good stuff on here. So all that stuff is cool, and it's easy to do. It just doesn't get any simpler and more effective than that. And everyone else is seeing the same kind of results. But this second method is just going to blow the doors off of everything. And again, this is not a loophole on here. I'm going to grab a really quick drink of water in here, but let me know in the chat box. Just type in some ones in here if you want to see a second method. I'm going to pull back the curtain. You just go step by step. If you hadn't been taking notes yet, now is really the time you want to take notes on here, because this is even simpler, and you'll see it just blows everything away, and no one's talking about this stuff. Alrighty, so we got a lot of excitement there. Very cool. Love the crowd here. I think it's got a good group of people. Love it. Okay, so let me just log into an account, and we're going to log into now we get into the paid traffic part. So this gets pretty exciting. So I'm going to show you a AdWords account, not my company AdWords account, because then I would reveal the niches that we're in. So this is going to be a different one. It's a blank one, but I'm sure you understand. So if you're familiar with AdWords, if not, just take screenshots, take notes on here, because this is exactly how I do this. And this is not normal AdWords stuff, and this is not a loophole, and this has been with Google AdWords for the past 5 years. So this is just that no one knows about it, and no one knows how to do it. We've spent well over 7 figures learning how to do what I'm about to show you right now through trial and error. And I mean 7 figures like losing money. Okay, so this is really cool stuff. So we're in the Google AdWords account. You simply go into campaigns. You're going to come down. We're going to do this search network only. Okay, so that's step 1. Okay, and then on here, I'm just going to campaign. I'm just going to do campaign. I'm just going to do Call Zoo. Let's name it there. And right down here, I'm going to do this call only. And you can ask local business owners and even certified Google AdWords experts. It's like, have you heard of the call only on here? And people will give you dumbfounded. What people don't know is it's been here for a long time. And you're going to see how, I'm going to show you numbers and everything here. This is like unbelievable. So there's that. So right here, this is a huge mistake a lot of people make, is you want to uncheck this. The reason you do is because the other Google ad networks don't do the call only. What we like about the call only, this is what's so freaking powerful about this, is that you only get charged when someone calls the phone, not when they click. I'm going to show you, and it costs like way less than a click. It's insane. Again, not a loophole. So let me change the locations on here. I'm going to choose this. Actually, I'm going to go to advanced just really quickly, and I'll go back to my old stomping grounds. Actually, This week was the first week I've been back in the States in 4 years. So I'm going to do Phoenix, Arizona, right? And a lot of you've maybe seen or done this before, but let's do a handyman example. So if this is Phoenix, this is the area that you get calls from. Any handyman in Phoenix would definitely go out to Scottsdale, Mesa, and Chandler. So let me just add a few little other cities in here because it's just naturally what they do, and I know the area really well because I used to live there. So we'll add in Scottsdale. Any handyman will go there, and we'll add in obviously Tempe because it's right downtown. And that's good. So we're looking good there, and for sure do Mesa. So you get the point. Handymans, they're in a truck, they drive around, right? So they would do some other areas, but I think you get the idea there. So it's kind of cool how you can really be very specific about that. So scroll down here. Did I miss anything? Local options advantages on here. Yes, this is one where a lot of people mess up, and that is people in my targeted area. So I'm giving away all my tricks here, folks, everything. This is exactly how we run the campaigns on here. And then I'm going to come down here and let's see. I want to manually do this. Okay, so this is really important on here. And my default bid for a call, not a click, okay? I mean, if you're a business owner and you had a website, what would you want? Would you want someone to click on your site 5 or 10 times and then 2 out of the 10 call? No, you want them just to be forced. Google literally forces you to only call. And that's like the sweetest thing, right? So I'm going to say I'm only going to pay $2 maximum for a live lead. Now, if some of you are kind of sharp on this end of it, you'll notice that for a click, it's like a lot more, but don't tell anybody. I'm going to say my budget is just like $15 a day. Okay, so nothing really crazy. I'm going to leave the delivery method alone. And this is awesome on here. I can set up the times, the dates. I'll start this in the future. I won't bore you through this, but I can literally just have the calls come on when they open for business and turn off when they're closed for business. So let's go ahead and save and continue. And this is where it gets really, really cool. So I'll just name this the call zoo on here, and we're almost done with this thing right here. So this is where it gets really, really cool. So I'm just gonna name this. Let's say done now, handyman, and the phone. This is key. You don't want to use Google's forwarding numbers. It'll mess everything up, and no one else is doing this part on here. So I'm using my own Call Zoo phone numbers on here, and this is obviously a fake number, right? So that's really important. Now the description, I'm not going to get into. There's a lot of information out there on Google AdWords, but the first description needs to be like a call to action, right? So something like need a handyman. Let's say tap to call call now, and you can see this is what it would look like on a cell phone or device. Now, I'm going to show you some stats on here about how many people use their cell phones to do local searches for stuff like this. It's literally growing every year. It's not going back on here. And here you just put some kind of benefits. I just put some more to call to actions. Anyways, and so I just want to get to this because I want to show you the numbers on here because this is where the magic happens on here. So the display, I'll just put callzoo.com. Verify on here is really simple. I just need to just put the HTTP in front of it, and then we'll get into something that's really, really amazing on here. I'm using my own number. Do not want to use the Google number. So now I'll just enter in a few keywords. Now, normally when I would do something like this, I would spend a little bit more time researching the keywords, but I'm just going to hit a couple of the main ones, and if you were to hit the other ones, it would be 10 times more effective, but this alone just crushes it. So this is only in that area, handyman. So just put in handyman. So when someone in Phoenix or Scottsdale, I'm going to just type in handyman, and this will show up only in the areas that we selected, and I'll get a little bit more specific. I'll do handyman Phoenix, and I can't type tonight, but it's okay. And then I'll do, let's say handyman Scottsdale, and that's good enough. I do Mesa and all that kind of stuff, but that's good enough for what I want to show you, because now we want to estimate what this is going to cost in the search traffic on here. Okay, so I want you to remember these numbers, because this is really cool stuff on here. So what it's telling us right now is that it would cost us, if I were to increase the area out just a little bit more, it'd grab a little bit more searches if I were to put Mesa in there. So, but anyways, clicks per day is going to be about 6 to 8. It's going to cost a maximum of about $1.05 per call, not a click. I know I just said click, and it's not even going to spend my $15 a day. Now, how much do you think we could sell a live lead for those on here? We don't even have to guess, because I'm going to show you on here. So let's go back to here and take a look. This is where it gets really, really exciting. Okay, so we saw that we're using the most used device to look for local businesses, and that's some kind of mobile device, and they just do the tap per call on here. And this is coming straight from Google Stats on here, and we're seeing this in our business every single day. 70% of all local searches on here are done with mobile devices. Someone's driving my car, they're looking for towing. What do? They don't drive home and look on their iPad or something like that. No, they pull out their smartphone on here. So 70% of all local calls on here result in a phone call. This is directly from Google mobile playbook on here. It's really, really powerful stuff. So we already set up a campaign. So if you, this is some data that I pulled from the net, but this is handyman calls. This is the average revenue here. The low cost, the very least of a handyman on average to make is $75 for an actual job. Mid-range about $380, and the high is about $1,100. So we're going to take the middle of the bell curve, right? So if we're saying I didn't even spend $20 a day, we said 15. We won't even end up spending that. We'll spend less than 10. And it's actually going to cost us not $2 a call, but actually at most about $1.05. And I'm going to get about 6 to 8 phone calls on here with Phoenix in that particular area, just based on the keywords. Had I entered a little more keywords in there, I would have gotten more searches on that. But I just wanted to demonstrate this. So I'm going to end up usually getting, based on those numbers there, around 8 leads on that end of it. If I do more keywords, I'm obviously going to get more on that. And I'm going to be able to charge minimum of $18 per lead. That's actually based off of what the going rate is for an email lead, not a live phone call. You can charge way more for a live phone call than an email lead, obviously, right? You got a hotter prospect. This is somebody who's gone online, searched for your service, and then pressed tap to call, is waiting for you to pick up the phone. That's the warmest prospect you can possibly get. So on that, just based on that, on those very simple numbers there, you can see how the math plays out on here. And even if they have a really bad closing ratio, they get, say, 10 calls on here, and they're only able to turn 3 because maybe there's some people shopping around or whatever. 3 of those turn into jobs, just an average cost of $387 on here. They're going to get a little over $1,000 per revenue. Now it cost me less than $20 for that, but they're paying me, well over, about, in this example, $180. So basically, they're paying me $180 a day. I'm handing them back over $1,000 of revenue. How frequently do you think they're going to do that transaction? Yeah, every single day on this end of it. And it's not just the handyman niche. This is all across the board. And it's like nobody's doing this stuff. So I hope you got pretty excited about that stuff in here, on here. So just I want you to think about something for a second. And this is how I've grown my business so fast. If you just had one profitable niche, say, whatever, handyman niche in Phoenix, okay, because I'm not in that niche, and it's just one city, you got to tweak it out. You got to get the right title in there. So if you there's some experimentation to go around. But once you got it dialed in, and you can see it doesn't cost that much to do it. Once you got it dialed in, the same handyman ad on AdWords is going to work in Phoenix as it's going to work in Dallas and San Diego. So let's just check out. I want you to kind of realize something here. This is called scalability. This is how you really, really blow things up. So if this campaign works, say in Phoenix, all right, we got it dialed in, we're making a profit. Your client's making a profit. The same AdWord campaigns and everything you do, you just literally copy and paste. You do the same thing in San Antonio, San Diego, Dallas, Austin, Indianapolis. This is how you scale a business. Charlotte, Detroit, Seattle, Washington, and you're offering what no one else is offering. Live leads, and just not just live leads, but live leads on the days you want and the hours that you want. And there's huge margin in there for you to, Vegas, Portland, Sacramento. You get the idea. This is how you scale a business. You have to get out of the thinking of just one city on this end of it. You get one city dialed in, and then you just blow it up, and you expand out into Plano, into Henderson, into Orlando, Chandler, and so on and so forth. You get the idea, but that's how you do it. And the thing is, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to reinvent nothing to continue on with that. So, good stuff here. I've kind of put in handed out all my tricks there, showed you everything I've ever done, and what I do exactly on the day. But how many people right now kind of feel like, because it's really important to me, that you've gotten excited about this, you feel like you've got some value out of here, you feel like you could even take notes and just and you can see how maybe you've never heard anything about this with SEO. Very simple on here. That's the first method on here, the master domain. And the second, the AdWords click to call. It's not a new program, folks. It's been around for 4 years. Just no one's talking about it. No one's doing it on here. So how many people on there just type in a one in the chat box, they feel good, really like they learned something about you. You've traded your time on here, and you spent some time here. You feel like you got some value on here. Very nice, those guys. Lots of people feel like they got some value in here. Very good. I'm super happy on that, because that was my main goal, is to deliver value for everybody on the call here. And let me just get just a quick drink of water and a little bit dry mouth. Okay. Very, very good. Cool stuff. So who feels right now that with just the right kind of training, the right kind of support, just to support you, that you could build your own pay-per-call lead gen business? If you had access to the software, if you had access to the full training, step-by-step on how to do all of this stuff on here, who feels that they could do this? Who feels they could just build those first 4 sites that I showed you on here? It's just 4 sites. It easily replaces any executive income. It's not even a hard niche to do on here. Okay, so we're getting a lot of positive feedback there. Appreciate that. That's really what I live for on that end of it. So let's move on here. I'm going to present something on here that I normally never do, and this is just during the live call on here. When this call ends, all of this goes down. It's done with on here. But here's what you're going to get: a full training. Now, I didn't pull back and say, it's just going to be, 15 videos, all less than 5 minutes. It's just not the way you need to run the business on here. You need to run a business. It's over 200 plus hours. Don't be overwhelmed about that. Think about college. If you go to college, you end up paying easily, 20, 30, 40, and sometimes $100,000, depending on where you go, and you're going to spend 2,000 hours in there. And what are you going to get when you graduate? Debt and outdated education. And so this is a much better deal on here. We're going to provide you the trust flow domains and the Web 2.0s from our scraping software, so that you can rank those sites on here easily, just like we're doing. And you can get over that tipping point, that 5 to 7 cities, and then it just like after that, it just expands and grows for the organic on here. Really want you to succeed. So in order to succeed, you want to be able to know what your, at least for the first 5 cities, you want to know what your backlinking structure is for your competition, so that you know how many of these high trust flow domains, these age domains that you need to send backlinks to, which normally really is not that many on here, but you don't want to overdo it, and you certainly don't want to underdo it. But so you just need to reverse engineer. I'll show you step by step on how to do that. Safe link exchange within our private group. Now we have a very small private group on here, and we do just these very small link exchanges only within the group. It's like, hey, I got a niche in this. I got a high trust private blog network. I'm just looking for one lead exchange. It helps leverage it out so that you don't have to do as much work, and that's why we put it in here. I do weekly coaching calls on this business, exactly what's happening, what's changing in AdWords, what's changing with everything on here. And I do it every single week, not 1 week for 4 weeks. I do it every single week, every week of the year. So you're also going to get full access to the CallZoo software. This is 5 years in the making, and it's still in the making. Anyone who knows about software knows it's just whatever industry, and it's a moving target. And you have to stay on top of it. You have to have full-time programmers. It's not a one-time thing. So the first feature on here is the fact that I got 3 full-time programmers. They've been with me for 5 years. They're family. They're not from some desk here today, gone tomorrow. This is their career. I want to automate everything on here, so including the payments. I don't want to be chasing payments down. So I've got 3 payment types that we use for our clients. Our primary way that we do it is really that they prepay. So they prepay up front, usually like $1,000, and then every lead that comes in, whatever we charge them, $20, $80, $30, whatever it is, just gets deducted. They can log in the back end and see it. And then when they reach a certain amount, we can customize it, $300 or $400. Then the system automatically sends out texts to them, and everyone answers their texts, right? And it's like, hey, you need to top up your CallZoo account, so you make sure that you're never in the red. You never got to chase it down on here. So all that stuff's automated. You can white label the system, so it doesn't say CallZoo. It says whatever your business domain is. That's really easy to do. My programmers figure out how to do that. One click. You don't have to go into your if you're not technical, you don't have to go into your hosting account and do any of that kind of junk on here. We've built our entire system around the best call system in the world, which is Twilio. It's an open source, and Twilio, we don't upsell any of the prices. If Twilio's cost $1 for U.S. numbers and 0.01 cents per minute, then that's exactly what you pay. It's just there's no markup there, and we have the same numbers that Twilio has all over the world. So if you're listening right now and if you don't want to start in the U.S., you want to start in Australia, you want to start in the U.K., you want to start in Brazil, you want to start in Hong Kong, we all have the numbers. It all works there. We have an email tracking form because we found out that some clients and some niches, sometimes they want to call, but sometimes they want to fill out a form like to get an estimate. Totally works with our CallZoo system. So now instead of you're charging both for the phone call because some will call and also for the email leads. We're not losing anything there. You're going to end up getting a lot of leads. So, for example, you got a handyman in Phoenix. At some point, they're not going to be able to handle all the leads. So you've got to get another handyman service and business in that area. And so we have a different call deliveries. These are all the things we learned through trial and error over the past 5 years. So we can just single out when we first start in an area, just one handyman, or we can do a round, and that means it just goes around the table. So the first phone call goes to your first, niche, like say handyman's example, and then the second phone call goes to the second handyman, and the third phone calls can go back to the first one or can go to a third one. And we also have multi-ring too, which means it goes out to all of your clients in that niche, all of your handyman clients, and the one who first picks up the phone, they're the ones who get the lead. So it's just a whole lot more. The reason I didn't do a big old demo on the CallZoo software is because, quite frankly, it doesn't matter. What I'm trying to do is teach you how to run a business, and a business is about systems. It's about operations. It's about traffic. It's about conversions on here. You can have the best software system in the world, but if you don't know how to bring in leads, you don't know how to properly pick a niche, it doesn't mean anything. It's like having a really fancy car. It's like Anthony having his Mary Jane, but no gasoline in it. It's just going to sit in the driveway, but it looks awfully good, right? So on here, I'm going to add some bonuses in. Again, all of this, everything here, not just the bonuses, everything ends right at the end of this phone call here. We'll leave it open just for a couple of minutes while we answer some questions, but you're gonna be blown away in the bonuses here. So I do 2 live workshops per year, every single year. They're workshops, not Pitch Fest. Who gives the workshops? I do. I don't even have guest speakers come. It's just me and you, 2 days in a room, and I do usually one in Europe and one in the U.S. In fact, I'm doing one this weekend in Vegas, and they're all recorded. You don't got to pay for these events. Just as a member, you just come. And you're not going to be pitched one thing. You're going to come here and work is what you're going to do. So you'll be exhausted, but you feel accomplished afterwards on this. They're all recorded if you can't make them, by the way. I'm going to give you, through our scraping software, you get unlimited high trust flow domains to build your private blog network, to get your sites to rank organically, and unlimited Web 2.0s. They're not shared. It's not like you log into our system and then you put a link or something and there's 500 links. No, that's not the way we do this. We just give you the domains. If it's a .com, then you just go out and register it wherever you want to. It's going to cost you whatever a normal .com is, except these are really powerful linking structures. We give you step by step on how to do this. You own it. You got it. It's your property. Where you start is so important with this. So I want everybody to succeed. So what I'm doing is that in the first module, I give you step by step on exactly how to pick a niche. Now, if you're thinking for a second, all the good niches are taken. No, they're not. There's well over 30,000+ niches out there. Again, my company is only in 2 niches. We just started a 3rd one. We only have 4 cities. That's it. And I'll personally review your niche selection in total confidentiality. I would obviously never share that, so that I make sure that you get off on the right steps. So you get 5 years of experience of me going through and saying, hey, look, this is pretty good, and so is this. There's pluses and minuses with both. Did you ever think about this and this and this? And that's because I don't want you making some rookie mistake. So I hold you hand by hand for that. I'm going to give you a super bonus here. I could make an entire course out of this bonus and sell it for $2,000. And this is underground how to get the Google 3-pack without a postcard. Okay, and no one else is doing this. I guarantee it. And every day there's somebody in the Facebook group saying, hey, just like right here, it says I got verified on here for 2 of my lead gen sites and in the Google 3. Now, this is not going to make or break your business whether you rank there or not. It's just a nice little added bonus. The way you build a real long-term substantial business is you got some nice organic sites and you got some paid traffic. So you got 2 sources of traffic coming in. This is just an added bonus on here. I give you my exact landing pages I use with the videos and how they're converted on here. And we always split test them. So if they change, you get the updated ones. This is where you send your clients, your prospects to that want to get these leads from you. You just send them to the landing page. You don't need to call them or sell them or anything like that. I show you exactly how we do this. Again, it's automated. I don't want to be on the phone talking to clients. My staff will give you full, from our commercial account, full Majestic backlink reports in whatever city and niche you're in. So you can analyze, and I teach you how to do this, exactly how to reverse engineer what your competition is doing so that you're able to outrank them. And you're going to outrank them with just basically 2 simple tools that we give you anyways. That's just the private blog networks. Boom, you get them, they're yours. We also provide the hosting too, by the way. It's all safe, but this is a full biz in a box. And I give you, I spent over $15,000 on these contracts. These are for the U.S., but these are my pay per lead contracts for my clients. And you can swipe them and take them, and they're yours to go. So you literally don't need anything else on here. Okay, so you also are going to get an exclusive link exchange program within the group. So let's say that you build a nice private blog network. You got 1 domain on this end of it. Instead of just linking that 1 site just to yours, you can now exchange within the private blog network group. It's just other people doing exactly the same thing you're doing here. They're not in any other niches. They're following the same guidelines. It's all quality stuff. And just a maximum of 5 outbound links from your site. So it's not spammy at all. Google can't detect it, none of that kind of stuff. And it just really 5 times your effort. So and these are just samples here that I just pulled out recently from the Facebook groups, just people asking for link exchange, letting you know their niche and all that kind of stuff. It just makes your work on here. So let me ask I'm going to answer the most common questions I get, and then we'll turn it over live to the chat box here in just a second. So how soon can you start making money? Well, that really depends on a lot of factors, right? It depends on the niche you select. It depends how much effort you put in here. It depends how much knowledge you have in the beginning. But this is the reality. The reality is that if you don't take action, if you continue doing the same thing you're doing right now, you're going to continue to get the exact same results on here. So that's the best way I think I can answer that as honestly as I can. Is this newbie friendly? Absolutely. We have students in here who've never even installed a WordPress plugin, who've never even opened up a hosting account before. They don't even know what a backlink is. And my staff in here is 7 days a week. People love our staff. I'm going to show you all these testimonials we have about our success students and everything from how much they love the support desk, everything on there. It's just top notch. Are there any upsells? No, there's none. I don't like upsells, so that's the way we're doing it here. How do you get clients? Like I said earlier, you're going to get our templates because that's what everybody doesn't like. They don't like getting clients. I'm going to show you step by step how we do it. You're going to get our exact landing pages. We do 2 methods. You can do either one or both. We do a paid traffic method that just drives them to our landing page, converts them over, hands off. And we show you step by step on how you can hire somebody to actually call it. It's the easiest sell in the world because the way that we do it, whether it's paid traffic or whether you pay somebody to call, is that we're just giving them a 7-day free trial and they're seeing the results in advance. So for the next 7 days, would you like to receive free leads for your handyman niche in your city? The only challenge there is not getting a yes. It's getting a yes plus making sure that they're qualified and they understand that they're not just kicker tires, they run a good business. And then on day 8, they automatically go right into the paid version, it's just as simple as that. This is not a, can we rank you for SEO and then hopefully you'll see results in 7 days? No, it's like boom, cost you nothing, bam, there's the results at the end of day 8. This is what it's going to cost you per lead. This is exactly how you're going to be billed. Everything's like this, so there's no surprises, and there's no one else offering that. Yellow Pages doesn't offer that. Radio advertising doesn't. Print doesn't offer it. You're the only game in town that is. It's a super easy close. Okay, so how much the phone numbers cost? They're literally a minimum cost on here. So basically whatever Twilio charges. So most people are going to start in the United States. It's about $1. It is $1 per month per phone number. And 0.01 cents per minute. It is the least of your business expenses. Do we have phone numbers in all countries? All major countries. Basically, if a country has Google AdWords network, then Twilio and obviously Callzoo will have the phone numbers in your country on that. If you already know what a Twilio account is, you've maybe already got an account and you've got numbers on here. Can you port your existing numbers in here? Yes, you can. One button, you can port them in, and you can also export them back out. They're your numbers, not ours. This is a common question we get. I really don't like SEO. Dude, I just want to move right into the sexy stuff, the paid AdWords. I'm telling you right now that we learned this the hard way, so I want to pass this on to you. You just need in your niche, you don't even need a ton of cities. You just need like a couple cities ranking on page 1. They don't even need to be at the top of page 1 in your niche, and you start with the AdWords there. No one's talking about this, by the way, because most people that run AdWords just do AdWords and they're not ranking organically. When you rank organically just in a couple cities and then you do the AdWords with it's a huge tip, by the way, with the pay-per-call, they like slash your prices in half and they like double your quality score. It's insane, and like no one realizes it, and then you just crush over your competition. You're getting the leads for far less than everyone else is, and you can just expand and grow it out. You don't even need to do the SEO in every city, but with the master domain method, you just rank in 5 or 7 cities. We provide you with all the backlinks, and it makes it a lot easier, and it's a smarter way to run a business. Because you always want to have multiple streams of income. And here you're going to get the organic and also the paid. So just a much better, secure way to run a business. And And this is how you're going to learn about all this stuff. So we'll open up the chat box on here. And again, all of this is when I'm done answering questions and everything just comes down. It's over. So you're going to want to go to learn.callzoo.com. Make sure that we get that in the chat box. And I want to make sure that you also have my 7-day-a-week, they don't ever sleep, 7-day-a-week support in there. And so if you have any questions, that's really important that you got that there. But go ahead and check out that page over there, and then we'll open up the chat box while I got a quick drink of water. And then we'll start answering some live calls here. And then towards the end, when we get done answering these questions, I'm going to show you a quick videotape of like hundreds of clients. This is not clients from 5 years ago. This is hundreds of clients within the last 3 or 4 months that have totally crushing it, and everything that they have to say about this on here. So, Anthony, you there? It's all right. He's got a newborn, so he's probably taking care of that kind of stuff. Are you there? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely has. I'm very fortunate. Trial and error, and just never, just always seeking to improve and hustling forward. So, everyone else out there, everyone else gets the benefit of those 5 years of hustle right now. It's just like condensed down. Yeah, absolutely. And then when it's when you just wake up in the morning and you're almost kind of unconsciously thinking about something because you've thought about it for the last 5 months or 2 or 3 years, then all of a sudden, it just things come to you. You'll be in an elevator, you'll close your door and go, "Oh yeah, I need to try that." And that's just the way it goes. Where if you're scattered, you're not able to really think and grow deep on here. So yeah, absolutely. It's all about the focus, and it's also all about the focus, and also just having a mentor, having people that you can follow and that you could learn from. If someone, trust me, had I known what I know today, and someone had 5 years of experience, and they came in and said, "Hey, I'm going to lay out step by step all this stuff here. Every week we're going to have a call. 2 times a year we're going to get together and have a good time and work and grow on our business. And I'm going to be around other people that do it." I would just throw down everything and do it. But hindsight is easy, right? So Absolutely, and I'll tell you what. I've been through it enough times, because they're always trying to. They're always really what they're doing is they're just improving the customer experience instead of, trying to make your life harder. And I kind of realize that because we've been through enough of their changes, both with the AdWords and the SEO, that every time a change comes, I welcome it. Like most recently, they changed it so there's just 4 ads showing on top and then some way down, and there's none on the right hand side. Why the whole community and everybody's freaking out about this and happening. My business is growing even more on this end of it. So I look to these changes as a positive, because when you look at it and you understand that Google's just trying to improve the customer experience and obviously their bottom line, that when you're in alignment with that, everything works out for you, for the customer. It's a win-win. So I do not fear the changes at all anymore. In fact, anytime they happen, it's great, because the competition starts floundering and they don't know what to do. No, no. Um, I don't know how my programmers did it, but basically, you're not hosting on your website, but your URL, it's your URL. I don't know how they did it. It's not a redirect. It's not anything like that. It basically just a customer. So like you'll create like a members dot, your company name, and that's where they log in, and they'll always see your domain. They'll never see ours. But there's nothing to do with the whole hosting, opening up in a folder, none of that stuff. Good question. No, you can stay anywhere. I travel all over. Literally, I travel with my wife and my 3 kids every 3, 4, 5 months. We're traveling somewhere else in the world, and I run it all virtually. So you can be based anywhere. That's the wonderful thing about this. So this gets us clear about this. If you're listening right now and you're in the UK and you want to start in the UK, no problem. Phone numbers, we have .uk, age domains, high quality. We have them all over the world, in any country that you want. You definitely can. My recommendation is, however, is that you start in the largest market space right now, which is the U.S. And because you don't have to interact directly with the customers to get them, those fears about possibly, having accent or the different time zones and hours, you don't have to worry about that stuff. Sure. I've seen somebody and again, the results are not typical. I need to throw it in there, but this is somebody who came in, and they just right away got one site ranking on the bottom of page 1. They went right into the AdWords content, and they're actually they've been posting about it in our Facebook group. And they've been leveraging the leads. These are leads that normally it's an attorney niche, and these are leads that normally cost $80 to $100 per click. Okay, I mean, you usually got to get 5 to 10 clicks. I'm making like $1,000 in clicks before you get a single phone call, and they're using the techniques I teach here, and they're getting calls for $28 a piece, and their attorney is ecstatic because they're more than willing to pay $80 for a phone call, where before they'd have to pay $500 to $1,000 before they get a couple of phone calls for the click. So these are some things that we see right away. We've had a couple of students come in, and they've actually quit their full-time jobs, and now they're full-time doing this. But I do not want to give the impression that this is point and click and it riches every day. If you follow all of the work we've put out, all of the training, you're active in the Facebook group, you let our support team 7 days a week help you out and support you. I mean, we really support. It's like, hey, we can see you're struggling with this, or hey, just give us your username and password of your website. Let us do this for you. That's the kind of support that we give on here, if you leverage everything that's being handed to you here, and you work at it, you're going to do very well at it. This is a very solid business model. You're giving clients what they want. This is not something that's here today, gone tomorrow. I've been doing this for 5 years, the exact same business model. And that is just providing clients what they want. They just want live leads. And you can do this anywhere in the world. There's no other advertising type agency that's offering this. Someone may call and say, hey, we'd like to manage your Google AdWords account, blah, blah, blah. Well, they got to put money up front and everything, and they don't even know whether they're going to make a profit or not. Whether they do flyers or not, they don't know if they're going to make a profit, and they got to pay up front. We're coming in and saying, hey, we're going to give you 7 days, and sometimes 5, it depends on the niche, or even 3 days of free leads to test this out. When it's all done, this is exactly what it's going to cost you. It's going to go right into that automated billing process. If before that time you're not happy, then just cancel and we'll part ways friends. It's an easy sell. No one else in the world is doing this stuff. And this is, as far as I know, we're the largest pay-per-call. The Service Magic and those other ones out there that are doing it with the email leads. We're doing it with the live calls. And that's just a completely different ball game on here. So yeah, I know and I want to be straightforward and honest with you. If there's somebody on there that's like really tight with income, and it's like this is like their last little free dollars to do this, and it's like they don't have any budget for like operating this, don't. I'm just going to tell you. I just want to be honest with you. Don't. But if you're someone who follows directions, you want to have a winning system. You want to be on a winning team. You want to be around others every single day that are saying, "Hey, this is my win today. This is what I've done. This is what we're doing." You want to be motivated by this. You want to have weekly coaching calls. So, you don't get distant. You ever bought a course? I created this because I wanted a course that was like the way I always wanted on here, where you kind of get a course that's just you and PDFs and some videos, and it's kind of lonely for after a while. But instead, you get to interact with other people doing the same thing. You get to listen to me talk about the business easily a couple hours a week live. You send in your questions. I always answer them just all the way to the end. And of course, those are available and pre-record, all that kind of stuff. So you're really being fully immersed in here. And then a couple times a year, come out to the workshops. That's all you got to do. Bring your laptop with you, though. Bring your extension cord. Bring your coffee, because we're going to work on here. And that's really the kind of event that you want to attend. And I just don't know anything else out there that has all of those things to it. But it's kind of like what I always wanted, I remember when I was in the States just getting really bad customer support, like with my cell phones and AT&T. It was just horrible. I'd get all these routing things. I said, you know what? When I grow and prosper a company, I'm never going to have customer support like that. And that's exactly what I did. So good stuff. What else we got going on? Yes. Yeah, there's a couple of things. First of all, you got to, you may have to, like what I was doing. I wasn't just living in the backseat of my car and not working. I was living in the backseat of my car so I could save money, and I was working at a horrible job I didn't want to. And then I was spending every waking hour before and after that building my business. So you got to take care of yourself and your family first. So you got to do those things. Don't just throw those things aside. That's being irresponsible. But you've seen other testimonies in here of people that have done this, working at other jobs, dedicating themselves. Even if they're tired, a long day, a couple hours in the evening, 4 hours on the weekend, stuff like this. If there's somebody who's in a really, really dire situation on that end of it, this is not available for everybody. But if there is, contact my customer support. So support@callzero.com. and there might be some financing available for that. Now, not everybody rush for that because this is just for dire straits on here, and it's only if you really are willing to just totally dive into it and just really dedicate yourself, because you don't want to get yourself further in the hole. No. Yeah. Yeah. I forgot all about that. Oh, dude, I forgot all about that. There's so many good stuff. It's so good reconnecting with you. Yeah. Yeah. It was like I went down to the mainstream marketing live event, and it was like everyone else was staying in the hotel. I'm sleeping in my car, and it's in downtown San Diego. And I was at Phoenix at the time, so I could get myself down there for free because I had all the vegetable oil and stuff. So that was no problem. But when I got down to downtown San Diego, there's no free parking down there. And in the hotel, if you weren't staying there, it was $15 a day, and all I had was $14 on me. I didn't know what the heck to do. So I went down to the coffee shop, and I was sitting there trying to think, brainstorming what I could do. And there's people in line ordering the coffee and then asking for their tickets to be validated. And I thought, bingo, that's what I'll do. And so I bought the smallest coffee I could. And at that time, it was like $2. And then I handed him my ticket, my validation ticket. I said, can you stamp this? And she said, yeah, no problem. So she stamped it. And I said, is this good for like an hour? She said, no, it's good all day long. So basically, I got parking for $2 and a cup of coffee, and I didn't have to spend $15. And it was a 2-day event, and I still had some money left over. And man, when I was in the car there, everyone else was sleeping in the hotel and eating out at the restaurants there. I was going back to my car, and I literally had a jar of peanut butter and some tortillas. That's all that I ate when I was down there. That's it. So yeah, those are hard times, but you gonna do what you gotta do to make it happen. And I hope none of you have to go in that situation. But if you do, or you have to come somewhere closer to it, when you dig deep, you can really make things happen. Yeah, there's nothing more than I love getting this right here. It says, look, this was just it's just like a couple of weeks ago. Quitting my job in 2 weeks, I can finally join all he couldn't even join the live weekly calls because he had to work such late hours on this. So he always had to listen to the record. So he's like so happy that he can join the live calls on here. And he's in this transition point. And you can see he's got a little kid on his shoulder. He's got two little kids, and it's so awesome to see this kind of stuff on here. So now he's going to have more time for his kids. He's still going to be working hard, but he's going to be working from home, and that's completely different than having to be somewhere at a certain time, and then you're getting told when you can and cannot work. You're being told when you can take vacations and when you cannot, and it's just awesome seeing this kind of stuff on here. So nothing more makes me happy than that. And everybody's on here. Everybody logs in. They're like these winning Mondays. This is like every Monday, and so you get inspired. You can watch me and what I do, and I can share case studies, which I do. And you can see all those kind of stuff that we do on the back end. But there's something about when you can see other people in the course and their success stories, then it just they almost give you permission. Like it's okay to do this. Go ahead. I'm doing it. You can do it too. And you kind of make that connection in your mind. Oh yeah, if they're doing it, I can do it too. So that's a great little community on that. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Cool stuff on here. So yeah, I mean, if you've pretty much got, you know your group much better than I do because you have such a close connection with them. It's so cool that that you have that. It's just a testament to the kind of person you are. But if you feel like the questions have basically most have been answered, myself personally and my staff will just kind of quietly keep this open for the next 15 minutes. I'll play a little video of all the cool students and stuff that had so much great success with this, and we'll just quietly answer individually your questions, and we can kind of tune in on that. Would that be okay? All right, so let me just let me get that. Okay, so let me go ahead and open that up, and I'll open up my chat box, and it's a combination of videos and tapes and stuff like that. It's just kind of fun, and just answer your questions. This is the time now where we're going to really drill in. If you had a specific question that wasn't missed, I know how that is. By the way, you've been on a webinar and they don't answer stuff because it gets too overwhelmed. This is where we're going to slow down and take time to do this. And here we go.
name's Brian. I just want to give a testimonial for Chris Winter's pay-per-call coaching. I've spent the last 2 years buying shiny objects, and I've spent thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours, and they've all been wasted. And I was tired and confused, but then I actually came across Chris's pay-per-call coaching program, and look, it changed my life. As of 4 months ago, I've fully replaced my full-time job's income, and I no longer work for someone else. Now, I work at home or anywhere I want to, because sometimes it's a coffee shop. Last month, I visited friends I hadn't seen in years, because all I need is my laptop, internet, and a few hours per day to work. Look, if you want to be free to work where you want, then I recommend you get Chris's pay-per-call course with the software.
Hey, my name is Rick, and I got Chris's pay-per-call coaching and software about a year ago. And when I started, I could hardly manage my email account. In other words, I was a complete newbie. The training is taught in a way that is newbie-friendly, yet very advanced. It took me about 12 weeks to get 2 sites ranked page 1 for my niche, and I immediately got 2 clients that were willing to pay me $25 per call delivered. And each site brought on average 30 calls per month, so that earned me about $1,500 per month. Well, today I'm happy to report I have 14 lead gen sites, all the same niche, that bring about 250 leads per month, or just over 6,000 per month. I love my lead gen business and being able to work from anywhere with my laptop and internet connection. I work about 4 to 5 hours per day, and my goal is to double my business in 12 months. The course works when you decide to put in the efforts. I highly recommend Chris's pay-per-lead course with software. You will not have any regrets.
Well, it's been almost 3 weeks since I attended Chris Winter's training for local business marketing. And I purposely waited 3 weeks to do this testimonial, not that I didn't want to do it before, but personally, I'm always more interested in testimonials that talk about people who are actually making money as opposed to somebody who's just blown away coming right out of the actual seminar itself. Of course, the euphoria and all that sort of thing tends to propel those sorts of testimonials, but when I watch them, I'm like, well, that doesn't really mean anything to me. I mean, how much money is this guy or gal making? And I'm very happy to report that because of Chris's training, I got my first paying client, my first local business client. And he was largely responsible for that. I've been dabbling around, poking around in the internet marketing world space for 3 years, and I never had as big of a payday as I had getting that client. And what I really liked about Chris was that if you Google his name, you won't really find anything about his knowledge in the internet field. It's all you'll really find is his transformation story. But what's cool is that he doesn't spend a lot of his time marketing what he knows for classes and that sort of thing. He spends most of his time making money, which is what anybody who's wanting to look into a coaching program or training program, that's what they should be looking for in the person doing the training. Somebody who's more interested in making money doing the stuff than teaching it. And Chris is all about making the bucks, and that's what most of us go to trainings for, and that's what I got out of Chris's training. I highly recommend him.
north of Detroit, Michigan. It's beautiful San Diego with Chris Winters. I came here expecting to learn something valuable. What I got was something completely different and far, far more valuable than what I ever would have expected. Been studying internet marketing for about 10 years, sold some stuff, made some money. What I learned here today just puts all that to shame. I'm really, really glad I came here.
Whenever you're ready. All right. My name is Ryan Francis. I'm from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and came down to San Diego for Chris Winters' course. And honestly, it is the best thing by far. I've purchased a lot of stuff. I've been doing this now for a little less than a year, but in that time, I've purchased probably a couple $1,000s worth of information, and I found that nothing compares to what I've learned in the last 2 days. And after buying my product, going through some of the material, I'm blown away. So if anybody's on the fence about Chris Winters, I'm telling you right now, he's a real deal. There's no BS behind what he's teaching you. He's teaching you stuff that you have to, I don't even know, learn from Chris Winters actually himself. Stuff that I've bought, I haven't learned anything even remotely close to this. So if you're on the fence, get off the fence. Get in with Chris Winters because he knows what he's talking about, and he'll get you to that next level you're trying to get to.